Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another video for Eve Echoes. Today is Tuesday the 9th of March 2021, and we've just had the patch notes drop for tomorrow's maintenance. Now, last week the maintenance was just that. It was literally 2 hours of not getting to play the game, no exciting new patch notes to go over, and nothing to look forward to with Reddit moaning. So I kind of cried myself to sleep that night. But hey, this week we get some awesome patch notes, we're going to have Reddit moan about some new things, and I'm excited to get to talk to you all about what's going to happen. So, as is usual with a patch notes video for me, this is going to be the standard format. It's just going to be me talking, giving my opinions, reading the patch notes, and talking about what that means for the game going forward. There's going to be no flashy graphics here, no explosions, no, PvP or anything like that in this video. Just me talking and giving my opinion. Of course, it's 2021 and this is the internet, so I do have to say these notes and what I'm going to say here is my personal opinion. You may disagree, and that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to disagree. Let me know politely in the comment section down below, and we can talk about these things like grown-up adults. Anyway, that all said and done then, let's jump right in to talking about tomorrow's patch notes. So, new features. You cannot fire at your own drones in high sec anymore. Yes, this is a thing. If you lock onto your drones, you can accidentally shoot them, and in true hilarity, you can actually send your own drones after each other and have little wars in space with your drones fighting each other for sport and or money or just entertainment. Unfortunately, you can't do it in high sec anymore. That has now been disabled, which makes sense, and there's an absolutely hilarious patch note later on that kind of alludes to this, and we'll come back to in a moment. But if you're flying around in high sec, you cannot accidentally target your own drones anymore, which brilliant, because if you did in high sec, well, you've got to combat a criminal timer for doing so, because it's technically player versus player engagement, even though it's kind of, the solo version of PvP that you're going up against yourself, but it did still trigger Concord if you jumped to a station or a gate afterwards. Yeah, that's always going to be fun. Number 2, now instead of being consumed by the system, the ISK from expired buy orders created by the insurance system will now return to the insurance pool. That's a good change. People keep asking me to come out and do this massive blanket statement about the insurance system, and I keep saying I won't. I think the insurance system isn't perfect, but I do not think it is this game-killing travesty that everyone else seems to make it out to be. I get it. People are angry at it. We know from the Trello roadmap that there are changes upcoming. Either way, loads of the outrage at this is blown up massively out of proportion. We know from the developer's own statistics that fewer ships are being magicked up out of thin air now than ever before. And as for this whole, the Plex, the system takes 30% of the Plex, you know what? If I buy Plex and buy Omega with it, or if I buy Plex and buy skins with it, the system takes 100% of that Plex. So the fact that the insurance system leaves behind 70 Plex and puts it back into the market for other players to buy is a good thing. The reason that Plex is going up in the market is because people want to insure their ships, and therefore Plex is one of those resources that people want. Plex is a desirable resource, and if you know anything about supply and demand, it's that desirable resources become high demand, and high demand drives up prices. If Plex was something that no one needed, then it's going to just become this useless thing that it devalues, and that's kind of the point. More people want Plex, so the price is going up. It kind of means the insurance system's working, but hey, I said I'm not going to get into a big rant on this, and here I am, a big rant on it. So we're going to move on to number 3. Japanese and Korean can now be selected as preferred language in corporation recruitment ads. That's a nice little change. I think in any language, if your corporation in a game as global as Eve Echoes, you should be able to select whatever language you like. I'm not going to sit here and bemoan the fact that Ndebele and Shona and Zulu aren't options. Me living here in Zimbabwe, those are genuinely spoken languages. I can't speak them myself. I'm not going to sit here and say that, those languages should be added, but there's a part of me that thinks, you know what, just make it a box that you can type in what language you want, but having it as a drop-down menu with the option there to choose Japanese and Korean is always good. More inclusivity is always a good thing. Number 4, a secondary confirmation is now required when deleting an existing saved location. In case you're an idiot like me and accidentally delete the wrong one, then you have to fly out to your gate, set up all your bookmarks all over again. Yes, I've done it. I'm sure most of you guys have too. It's easy to do. Yes, okay, it's extra taps to actually delete one you want to, but it means you do actually double check what you're tapping away at and what you're deleting. Good change, I like that one. Number 5, default estimated price modified for several items. This is always going to be a good thing. This means that for the purposes of the insurance system and for audits, etc., basically the developers are keeping an eye on the market and modifying the expected amounts and costs for those things so that they're less likely to trigger audits and so that the buy orders, etc., for the insurance system are more accurate. Number 6, the Interdiction Spheres pull range around warp destinations has been adjusted from 1,000 kilometers to 300 kilometers. This means that you will not drop out of warp as easily when an interdiction sphere is nearby. You will actually have to get within 300 kilometers of that interdiction sphere, rather than basically being within 1,000 and then getting pulled out of warp from that. That is a slight nerf, well, it's actually not a slight nerf, that's a considerable nerf to interdiction spheres, which I'm not going to say is a bad thing. It means you need more interdictors actually to sit on a gate, rather than just having one guy in a fleet of 30 friends. You're going to need a couple of interdictors out there, and if that gets more people flying interdictor destroyers and more interdictor cruisers, well, I'm all for that change. It just means that you have to organise your gate camp a bit better and actually place those bubbles strategically, rather than just kind of slapping them around a gate. Number 7, improved the rotation animation of the strip miner model when it's mining. This is a pretty cool change. It's subtle, but basically when I was out in my Procurer the other day collecting footage for an upcoming Procurer video, I sat there and noticed that the turrets, the graphics of the turrets on your ship, face one direction, and the laser just kind of shoots out the side or the back. It looks really, really weird. So I'm glad to see that now if you zoom in on a Procurer and or a Retriever or whatever, and you're actually watching your strip miners, they will actually turn to face the asteroids that they're shooting at, and the lasers will actually, look right. It was a really weird thing to sit and watch. It's like when you watch drones. If you've ever watched, actually observed your drones in combat, you'll see that they have guns that kind of point forward, but then shoot at a 90-degree right angle. It just looks weird, and it was like that with the strip miners. Nice to see that that is being corrected. Number 8, navigating to an unanchored or destroyed Astrahus will now recorrect to navigate to the original Astrahus location. I believe when they say Astrahus, what they actually mean here are the Capsuleer outposts. Could also include the Citadels. I'll need clarification on this, but basically what this means is that if you unanchored or destroyed a Citadel or a Capsuleer outpost and then you autopiloted back to it, you would kind of get errors around that. Now it will take you to whatever location it was at beforehand. It's good to make sure that all those gen-fed pilots don't get confused as to where they're heading when they try to go to whatever Citadel that we ultimately ended up destroying. Number 9, now saving the location when inside a station allows you to enter that station later using autopilot. This was a weird one that basically meant that sometimes if you were parked inside a station and set to save your current location, you would actually locate outside. You wouldn't dock, you would just come to the station and park there. Doesn't always seem to be the case. This seems more like a bug fix, because for me I've been doing that and I've not personally had this issue, but I have heard other people talking about it. So minor bug fix, good to have that fixed. Nice to know that if you hit autopilot, you will actually end up inside the station safely, rather than just parked outside it. Number 10, improved the kill mail push notification to make it more timely. Thank you. No more of this kind of, yay, I killed the guy, let's share the kill mail. Where's the kill mail? Guys, I killed the ship, honest, but where's the kill mail? Guys, where's the... And you wait like 30 minutes, you log off out of boredom, you come back on 3 days later, and finally the kill mail has appeared, and by this point your friends all think you're lying and that you didn't actually do those things. So nice that the kill mail is going to arrive in a more timely manner. Quite frankly, if I was as late to my job as some of these kill mails have been, I would be fired. Now, that's kind of a joke because I don't have a job anymore. YouTube is my joke, and I've been late to this many times. Thank you, YouTube, for doing it literally on Friday. Uploaded the video at 11 AM. 7 PM, the video was still apparently processing, so the video was late. Sorry for any of you who were bugged by that one. If you did miss the Breacher Assault video because of that, go back and check it out. Number 11, saved locations can now be filtered to display only the locations in the current system instead of all the saved locations. Thank you. thank you. As someone who has like 8 different bookmarks just in NRail, it's nice to now not have to scroll through all of those when I'm trying to find the ones in the system that I'm actually using. That is a good change, that is a big change, I am happy about that one. Number 12, industrialists hold onto your butts. Adjusted the cargo hold volume of 4 Tier 8 industrial ships to 20,000 cubic meters. Now, I actually had to go and check which ones these were, and as far as I'm concerned, that should be the Wreath, the Sigil, the Badger, and the Nereus, the Tech 8 haulers. Now, these, when I looked at them, ultimately had cargo holds of around 9,000 cubic meters, so them going up to 20,000 is a massive increase. And I've heard people say, look, what's the point in a Wreath when it's got only a slightly bigger hold than the Mammoth, but the Mammoth has this massive ore hold that can be increased using skills. Now, there's your answer. That's why you have the Wreath, because it's going to have a cargo hold of 20,000 cubic meters. That's insane! That's a really big cargo hold, and that means that if you want to get stuff from low sec to high sec, you can now actually do so really nicely. And we've had a lot of fun recently doing that with Void. So yeah, nice that we get a few more options of different ships and how to do that one. Number 13, improved how corporation diplomacy, alliance diplomacy, and the alliance list are loaded. Again, this should be a reduction of load times. Again, if, like me, you sometimes have to jump into those alliance and diplomatic menus and things to try and figure out why on earth that blue ship and that gate camp was shooting at you, then it's nice to be able to actually load it quickly and not have to load it, then go put the kettle on, make a cup of coffee, come back and, like chant a prayer to the gods of the machine that this thing will actually load before your ship's destroyed. But it's now a increase there, so hopefully that loads quicker. 14, improved the display of star charts in sovereignty mode. Awesome! This is a nice change, and it's going to be a nice little visual change here that just shows a little bit more clarity as to who is controlling which regions, which constellations, etc. Again, sad that GenFed aren't going to benefit from this one, but who knows, maybe one day they'll get a station and actually, keep it alive. 15. The redemption fee valuation now uses the systems valuation. This, I believe, again, is to do with the insurance, and it's just modifying the prices to make sure that everything fits correctly. 16. Activating a skin item will now automatically apply that skin. Good. Good. It means I don't have to sit there and go through the menu and go, oh, I've activated it now, I've got to find that ship in the ship tree, activate it, or go in the fitting menu and activate it. It's just done. Clearly, I bought that skin, I activated the skin, chances are I want to use that skin, so thank you game for now taking the initiative and doing that for me. 17. Added new bookmark feature that can generate bookmark from saved locations. Okay, I thought saved locations and bookmarks were basically the same thing here in Eve Echoes, so I'm not sure what this one's going to be. This is exciting, it's a new bookmark feature, I'm happy with that. Does it mean we can sit there and go, right, okay, I've got a bookmark here, can I generate one that's a warp to from 100 kilometers away from that bookmark, so I can have 2 bookmarks next to each other without actually having to manually set the first one? Basically, if I drop one next to a gate, can I then, in a completely separate system, docked up in a station, can I open my bookmarks menu and go, right, that bookmark there, I want to create another bookmark that's 100 kilometers away from that and it will do it for me? That would be awesome. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think this one is, or if you know what this one is. 18. You can now view contracts owned to corporation in contract. This is tied into 19, so we're going to jump straight ahead here. Added a feature to allow you to initiate a contract on behalf of your corporation. This type of contract uses corporation assets and corporation wallets for trade. This is something that we have been crying for a long time, and this is a really awesome new addition. Corporation contracts. Having the corporation be able to issue a contract where they basically say, we want to buy all of your ore for this price, you just fly to the station, you drop it off, and you collect your ISK, and vice versa. You can do things like the corporation can issue various different awards, like, well, hey, we've now got all the parts we need for your doctrine ship, here is your doctrine ship, go pick it up from the station. All done directly from the corporation without having to pass that ship around 4 different offices or whoever in order to actually get it to where it's supposed to be. I'm hoping eventually we get the Alliance equivalent of that, where, even though I'm in Catskull Cartel, I can pass that through to one of the others, like Terminus, our alt corp, or any of the other corporations that are in our alliance. You know, you can pass it that way, so we don't have to pass it to a player, then that player passes it to another player in the other corporation. It'd be nice to have that alliance-wide too. Finally, increased the the member limit of custom channels to 500. This is nice. If, like me, you do use custom channels for a few bits and pieces, because there's people you want to be keeping in contact with wherever you are in New Eden, but don't necessarily want the entire alliance or corporation to know, basically now there can be up to 500 of you. Now, I'll be completely frank, I wish I had 500 friends that I could invite to a channel like this. I don't have that many. I've got maybe 430, 440, but I don't think I can quite stretch to the 500. Still, it's nice that we can now all be in one group together. Fixes. Fixed the issue where the displayed number of estimated plex cost is incorrect on the insurance page. This is nice. This just means now that when you are insuring a ship, you know that it's going to be the correct plex. It's just more accurately shown, so you know how much plex you're actually going to have to pay in order to get that ship insured. Number 2, fixed the issue where ship mode icons are displayed on the insurance compensation page. I'm not sure what this one is. When they say ship mode icons, that's usually things like sniper mode or bombard mode. Were those showing up on the notification page for insurance? I mean, I don't get that. If that's something that was happening, then surely it shouldn't have been, so it's nice that they fixed it, but still. Number 3, fixed the issue where prices on the purchasing page can't be edited when there is no real-time estimated price. Now again, I think this is to do with purchase orders, not with insurance this time, and some people were having an issue where you couldn't actually edit the price that you wanted to purchase something as. It was kind of setting it just to the default. Again, nice fix there. Fixed incorrect wording in Capsuleer's Outpost's delivering rule. This is, I think, when a Capsuleer outpost is destroyed, where that stuff then goes. They've just reworded it to be a bit more correct. Fixed the issue where, when switching ships, all fitted modules went offline. Yes, that's an annoying bug, and it happens to me entirely too frequently. Trust me, there's nothing quite like basically jumping in a ship, undocking, going out into an anomaly, closing the gap to the distance that you want to start fighting at, only to realise that every single module that is fitted to that ship doesn't work and acts as if it's not fitted or doesn't have the power grid, at which point you have to hope that you can actually dock back up and you haven't been scrammed to go and actually sort it out. So yay for fixing that one. Number 6, fixed the issue where drones can switch target to other players in high sec. Yeah, you remember I said that it was possible to shoot your own drones in high sec and get criminal timers? Well, it turns out that you could actually basically bug your drones into attacking other ships too. Yes, high sec PvP was a thing briefly in EVE Echoes. And I wish I'd been able to actually get it to work. I wish I'd been able to get this one to work and get a video on that, because it would have been hilarious. Number 7, fixed transfer failures due to the transfer reason being too long when bulk buying. Basically, this is when you go to buy like 20,000 of a particular mineral and the game says, whoa, there's an error there, and you kind of have to buy it in little chunks. They're fixing that. Now, of course, we are going to play the EVE Echoes development patch notes game here, and these are the ones that are written down. I want to know if you can spot anything that changed this patch that's not in the patch notes, because that appears to happen every single patch. So anyone who spots one of those will get my eternal gratitude and thanks, and I will shout you out in future videos. Otherwise, some pretty interesting stuff here, you know, some nice little quality of life changes. Nice to see a little minor nerf there to the Interdiction Spheres, which just means you have to be a bit more thoughtful where you place them. Goodness gracious me, trust me, I have footage of me just autopiloting non-interceptor ships past gate camps because the bubbles were placed so poorly. You've got like 30 red ships in local, and it's like, right, cool, let's have a look. Can I get to the gate? I warp in at 100 k's away, or warp to my bookmark if it's end rail, and it's like, I'm not anywhere near a sphere. The spheres are all in ridiculous positions. Cool, let's just jump through. No, I'm glad that we're going to be forcing pilots to actually now properly think about where they're going to be placing those spheres. That's cool. The cargo hold volume of those tier 8 industrial ships increasing to 20,000 meters cubed, I think is amazing. That's an awesome change that I think a lot of industrialists are going to really like, and especially since we've got two groups of industrialists right now. Basically, you've got the ones who have accepted that insurance is a thing and it's going to change with time, but have also looked at the facts and said, well, you know, actually, I'm guaranteed sales of certain ships now and I'm making money that way, and it's still, you know, fewer ships being magicked up than there were before. And the other group of insurance guys are running onto Reddit and screaming that the sky is falling, which, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, is the sign that your game is a healthy game. If you don't have a whole group of people on Reddit screaming that the game is dying and that the sky's falling, I don't think you really have a video game anymore. That's just kind of how it is. So, nice to see that the Industrialist is getting a nice little perk there. 20,000 cubic meter ship, cargo holds. That's going to be pretty sweet. And I'm excited to see what the star chart changes as well. Anyway, folks, this has been a slightly sardonic and sarcastic look at the patch notes for tomorrow's update. Genuinely, there's a lot of stuff in here that I am excited for, and I like to poke fun at GenFed from time to time in a video, so I'm going to at every opportunity. If you're watching this and you are a GenFed pilot, please don't get too angry at me in the comment section down below. I am just poking the same fun at you as you poke right back at me, and that's fine, as long as we're poking fun at each other's alliances, not at each other personally. This is a game, and the propaganda side of things is all part of it. Getting onto Reddit and making some funny memes is awesome. I love it. I love that people likened me to SpongeBob SquarePants living in my own private server by NetEase. That was really cool, and it was, you know, interesting. But when it comes to inter-alliance wars, keep it about the alliances, keep it about the battles, keep it about the actual events going on. Don't make your attacks personal. Anyway, folks, let me know what you thought of this slightly more sarcastic and upbeat version of the patch notes. If you liked it and found it, entertaining, then awesome. Let me know if you thought that actually, no, you're not as comedic as you think you are, Benzie. Sit down, shut up, and hire a scriptwriter. Then let me know that in the comment section too. Again, please try and keep it nice and polite. I do have very sensitive feelings. Anyway, folks, thanks for sticking this one out right the way to the end. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden when it's back online.